Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Now, some of you are aware, I'm sure, that I've been working away from home for quite some time, for a very, very long time. I've been over in Toronto doing a job, but I am, however, back in the UK. I am home, I am back in London, and I am, of course, now able to play a lot of the games that I've been playing. I will, of course, be uploading some of the other ones that I've been playing, TerraTech, RimWorld, and Factorio, but however, I have been playing this game since my return to the UK religiously. I have about 200-300 hours, maybe more into the game. One of my playthroughs is at about 78, I believe, 79 hours. But my current one, which is my latest build, is, as you can see, almost 21 hours, very close to 21 hours. This build is what I would call my almost perfect factory, hence the title for the video. The reason I'm calling it my almost perfect factory is because there are three things that I am not auto crafting or have automated. That would be the supercomputers and the two things that make that, the AI limiters and the high-speed connectors. I do have the capabilities of making them. I have unlocked them so I can automate them. I just haven't yet because I don't have any need to automate them until the next stages. I do have, of course, the capability of going into the code and editing it so I can actually unlock tiers 7, 8 and 9. Currently, I do not want to do that. The reason being is because if I do unlock them, that's all I will be playing. I will just jump ahead from what everyone has been released, and in my opinion, it won't be as... I guess it won't be as good, at least to me anyway. If you guys want me to do that, then of course let me know and I will do that maybe in one playthrough, or I will do a quick demonstration of what is available, because I can go do God mode, I can do unlocks, unlock everything, and I can pretty much build anything I want unlimitedly. Unlimitedly, is that a word? With no limit. I'm going to use that instead. So let's demonstrate what I have currently working for me right now. This is, it's not my biggest build, but it is probably my most efficient one. I have my mall here, right in the middle, being prioritized. I've got a few hallways in between and around my hall. I have pretty much access to all the little departments and sections within my factory, being able to be accessed without having to run through the sections themselves, because that's quite cumbersome when you want to try and jump over a load of belts. Hence, if I wanted to run through that door to get through over there, I'm going to have to jump all over these bases, but all over those conveyors. But instead, what I've done is I have hallways, and of course I have jump pads around my base so I can jump over the walls if I really wish. Just to go a little bit quicker, I have a few down here, which will take me around, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over there, and I'm going to show you what my base looks like from this angle. So the jump pads really do help when you have them. Go up. There we go. So here is where you can see pretty much all my resources as well, where they're coming in from. I've got my oil and deuterium coming from over there, being made into the base products that they need to be made into. Rubber, deuterium wire, plastic and fuel, which is of course being there because there's no point having fuel on the bus. There's really no point unless I want it to go into my mall, but to be honest, I'd rather have it there where I have access to it a lot quicker. Everything else that's going on the bus is joining onto the main line, which of course is this one here. I have 10 items on basically 10 in a row going at once, which means I'm able to produce everything pretty much all off one line. All I need to do is just, of course, increase the line as and when I need it. Now, let's jump all the way over to my mall, because I'm sure that's what most of you are actually coming to have a look at this video for. Here is my mall. I apologise for my frames. I reduced the settings down a little bit to keep it as optimised as possible without too many frame drops, but of course, if I do it too much, then the quality will be absolutely terrible and none of you will want to see it. But if I do it too high, my frames will be terrible and none of you will want to see it. So I believe I've got a good balance. Let's have a look. In here, I've got 10 items being produced here, and I've got 10 available for over here as well. This is full, of course. We have the iron plates coming in there, the rods, concrete, copper wire, and copper cable. Then, of course, we've got the steel beams, the steel pipes, I believe. Yep. The encased industrial beams, I believe, encased industrial beam, yes. And the deuterium wire, and of course the rubber. Then over here I have screws, reinforced iron plate, rotors, the modular frames even, and computers, of course, on top of that. I then have plastic. On this one is the empty one, which is what I'm going to have here is going to be circuit boards. The reason I want circuit boards is because you need to pretty much automate them a little bit quicker for the, I believe it's the AI limiter. I may be wrong, let me just very quickly check. I believe it is for AI limiter, you need circuit board. Yeah, so that and of course supercomputer is what I really need to be crafting next. Carrying on, we have motors and obviously the rotors under it, heavy modular frames above the modular frames, and of course what I'm going to have above the computers are the supercomputers when they come in. I believe that's everything that I need to actually build to craft in order to build everything that I need, but let me show you my bus next. I think I'm going to jump up here so you can get a little bit of a better view. Now, it is pretty big, it's pretty extensive. We've got the plates at the bottom, then the rods being produced. They are technically, I believe, running at 120, being produced at 120 a minute on standard. The copper cable is running at 270, it's being produced. The concrete is unfortunately not the fastest because I've not got all the resources coming in yet. I believe I've only got one miner working on that, which is fine, or extractor. I've only got one working on it at the moment, but that's fine. The steel pipes are of course above that. Then I have steel beams. Above that, I believe, yep, as you can see, it's the encased industrial beams. They're not being produced that fast because I don't really need them that fast anyway. I believe they're running at 10, maybe 20 a minute. Could be less than that. Could be, yeah, it could be about 10 a minute. Above that, I've got plastic, then rubber, then of course Caterium wire. Now, if I run all the way down my base, you can see that everything is pretty much feeding in to as and where it needs it. That is the reinforced iron plate section. So the reason I don't have screws on my belt is because screws basically take in 15 rods and they produce 90 screws per minute. So it's what, 6 to 1, I believe? Yeah, so 1 to 6. One rod makes 6 screws, so it would be silly to have 6 lines worth of screws when I can just have 1 line of rods and then feed into the constructors, yes, as and when it needs. So there's my reinforced iron plates. Over here I have my, I forgot to run before I jumped. Over here I've got my rotors and my stators being made. I've got 2 of each, so again screws going into the rotors because you take rods and screws, but screws take rods. So it's pretty much rods are the only things that make the rotors. Then of course they are going to join the stators in order to make the motors, which I only need 1. I believe that makes, correct me if I'm wrong, it should be 5 or 6 a minute. Yeah, 5 a minute, standard 100% efficiency. And then over here I have my next item, modular frames feeding into the heavy modular frames, which is nice, running at, I think it's 69%. Why are you at 69%? I'm assuming it's because of the modular frames. Modular frames are waiting on, it looks like, rods. So I need to speed up my rods. Noted. Okay, so carrying on, we have plastic over here going into the circuit boards. I've got 2 of them to make 10 in total a minute. And then of course they feed into the supercomputer manufacturer that makes 1.8, sorry, not supercomputer, the computer manufacturer makes 1.8 per minute. It's not very fast, but as you can see, all the way over when I, actually, let's use what's my new one? Where did I put it? There it is. It'll just be a little bit quicker if I use this. There we go. Nice and high, all the way over the top. It's a little bit annoying that I got injured, but it's fine. Okay, so my computers, yeah, as you can see, I have a lot. I don't need this full, I really don't. A few other things aren't full, i.e. the motors aren't full. I've put some stators and rotors, which are what makes the motors. The reason I put that in is because you don't need to fill this up. You really don't. If you've played this game enough times, you'll know that you don't need an insane amount of motors. It's just a waste of time. It's not a waste of materials because the materials are free. It's a waste of time because you're actually loading this up when the materials could be going on to the next stages and fill up your next items that you need. I think that's pretty much it. I don't think there's really anything else that I need to explain. So yeah, I think if you guys have got any tips for me, if you guys have got any other ways that I can do this, any alternative, maybe a bus improvement that I can do, please of course let me know. However, I think this is pretty much as good as it's going to get, and all I can do is improve from here. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and look forward to the next one. Thanks guys.